Are you having trouble figuring out which version of Silhouette Studio you should be using? I'm not talking the free versus designers versus business edition. I'm talking which update version of Silhouette Studio you should be using. So if you're new here, hey, I'm Christy here from Crafty Christy's Creations, and I'm here to help you master your silhouette. So today we're talking about Silhouette Studio. And the first thing that we need to talk about is, how do you even know which version of Silhouette Studio you're currently using? So let me show you how to find out that information. Okay, here in Silhouette Studio, you can see up here at the top, it says that I'm in Business Edition. That is the edition that I'm using, but we're looking for which version. So if you come over here to the Help tab and come all the way down here to About Silhouette Studio. And when you click on that, it's going to tell you right here that I am in Silhouette Studio 5. I'm in version 5 using Business Edition. And then here is I'm on the release 5.0.018, and this SSBE means Silhouette Studio Business Edition. So this right here is what we're talking about, is the, I guess, which release version are you in? And there's a lot of debate right now about if version 5 is really even worth it. And I have to say, when I first started in version 5, it was a nightmare. And I was having all sorts of terrible errors and nothing would work. My print and cut was way off, if it would read. And like, it was just hiccup after hiccup after hiccup. And so then I backed up to a legacy version of Silhouette Studio. And then, I don't know, a couple months ago, I was like, well, let's give version 5 another go. They've updated a couple times since then. And I'll be honest, I have been in this version 5 now for a couple months, and I personally have not experienced a ton of errors. Occasionally, I had an issue here or there. And usually a restarting of the computer has kind of taken care of those things for me. Like one time, my print and cut was printing horizontal on the page. I wanted to cut horizontal instead of the way that we normally put it in vertically on the page. And I couldn't for the life of me sort that out. Cut it the way that it was set up just to get it done. And since then, I restarted the computer later, and I've never had that issue again. And I really haven't run into any other issues in this current version, but it's still, I'm not sold that this is the version everybody should be using, because there are still some hiccups on the back end. Like, I don't use my Silhouette libraries. So for me, like, that's not a sticking point as to whether or not I should use this version. And because I don't use the library that often, because I don't save files there because there's been too many issues with that in the past and I've lost files. So now I save everything on my computer, and that has taken care of that problem. But if you're thinking about using a legacy version, or someone tells you a legacy version is the best one to use, let me show you how we're going to do that. So now we know how to find what version you're on. And then if you go to, assuming you're in America, we're going to the silhouetteamerica.com/software. So if you go to Silhouette America, you click on their software. Oops, let me get that off the screen. You click on their software tab, and then this is what it opens up to you. And right here, it's going to tell you to download for Windows or download for a Mac, and that is going to download the current version that they're using. But down here, you have this lovely little tab called Legacy Versions. So when you click on that, it's going to bring you to every version that Silhouette Studio has currently. And you can scroll back here and you can see, we can come way back. But I will say that the version of the software that you're using also kind of coordinates to the version of the firmware that you're using. So you don't want to back up too terribly far, but the one version that is mostly recommended is this 4.5.815. So on this version, you can look at the release notes here, and the release notes let you know everything that they fixed for this version. So this one is saying, they kind of, oh, here it is. It works for the Cameo Pro Mark II. They fixed some of the leather carving tools and improved the auto crosscut feature. And then the cool thing is you can scroll through here and you can see that the 4.5.812 helped fix some of the Silhouette library issues. And it was really focused on that. Further back versions have completed some other things. So version 4.5.770 is where they fixed a lot of the issues that were happening with Mac users and the upgrade of their iOS software there. So, it's nice to kind of see what they're fixing and then before you upgrade. So the version I'm on right now, and I'm still not even on the latest and greatest, but you can see, I think this is the one I was on, that they've kind of updated the home screen. They've updated some of the starter modes. They've fixed some of the stuff for Mac OS 15, the Sequoia support. But some users might still experience crashing when attempting to add a word to the custom dictionary. So they're kind of still telling you that there's some other things they know needs fixing and that they haven't had the chance to get to them all yet. So that's how you decide kind of which version to use. And then if we kind of back here, and then when you've decided which version you like, all you have to do is come over here and choose for Windows or Mac. And then you would download it, and you tell them you're not a robot. You can download that, put it where you want it, and then go ahead and go through that download process. And then you would want to obviously close Silhouette Studio, and then you would reopen it after you've done all of that. So again, to find out which version you're on, it's under the Help and About. That will tell you what version you're on. And then I showed you silhouetteamerica.com/software is where you go to pick a legacy version. The other thing I want to mention really quick is that if you're interested in upgrading Silhouette Studio, and now I'm talking from the free version or to Designer's Edition or up to Business Edition, currently Silhouette is doing a 30% off on all of their upgrades. So to find that information, let me show you where you're going to do that. So here we go back to software, learn more about Silhouette Studio. And then when you click that learn more, this is where you can buy an upgrade. So if you click on that, and you can see, they're taking a good 30% is no sneeze. So definitely think about that. If it's time to upgrade to a different edition, now is a good time to do that while it's on sale. All right, that is all I have for you today. It was just a quick video. I've been getting this question quite a bit as to which version should I use? How do I find it? You can always go back to Silhouette Studio and get a different version. Like I said, right now, I personally am not having issues in the version 5 that I am on. Others are not having the same experience as I am. So I'm really recommending that if you just really don't want to deal with those issues, go back to the 4.5.815. That's the one that I recommend you use for right now. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe.